everyone. Welcome to another episode of We Don't Watch Movies, featuring me, Corinne.
And me, Monze. That was a bad time to take a drink of water.
Yes, and today we are going to talk about the Bourne Identity.
Wow.
A movie neither of us have seen. So, Monze, why have you not seen the Bourne Identity?
I'm not a big Matt Damon fan. I don't It's like Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, probably in love with each other. But, like, in general, like, Brad Pitt, like, the 90s Tom Cruise, like, the white 90s men, I just don't have an affinity for. I don't care for them.
Yeah.
It's very interesting now that I'm thinking about it. It is just kind of like the guys who were really big in the 90s.
Because you also don't like Leonardo DiCaprio, who was also big in the 90s.
DiCaprio. Yeah. It's just like, I don't know what it is. But I just don't care for most of them. I can't think of one I do like at the top of my head.
You like the comedians. You like Ben Stiller, Steve Carell.
That's true. I do like the comedians.
Like
I do like Steve Carell.
And then what's his
Ben
face?
Stiller.
The one I think is...
But I'd say they're more like early 2000s than 90s.
Oh, okay.
I like Steve Martin, but he was around in the 70s into the 80s.
Yeah.
Was when he was becoming big, so he doesn't count.
Yeah.
So yeah,
same
interesting.
with Martin Short, yeah. You just don't like the action
love
guys.
Martin Short, yeah. Maybe that's it. I don't know. So yes, anyway, I'm not a big fan of Matt Damon.
Uh-huh.
I think my mom likes him. I think this is like a mom thing.
My mom loves Matt Damon.
I know your mom loves Matt Damon. I think my mom also likes Matt Damon. I don't know what it is. But yeah, so I've never seen it. I don't really care for him. I do own the movie on digital. I haven't seen it. So
why do you own
how,
it?
Like, how do I own it? Not even like a physical, like a digital version.
Yeah.
I also there was this weird, like, if I signed up for something, I got a bunch of free movies. So I got like the Lego Movie for free. I got the Bourne Identity for free. I think I got Ice Age, one of the Ice Ages for free. It was just random. I don't know what movies they were giving me. And another one, I can't remember what the fourth one was. And I was like, okay, free movie, who cares? And so it sits in my Amazon library. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. But yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah. What about Corinne?
Why haven't I seen it?
Why have you not seen The Bourne Identity?
So these movies came out in like the early 2000s, so
this is 2002.
Yeah. So I was too young to watch these movies, even though I knew they existed, and my mom loves Matt Damon. He's her favorite actor.
Really?
He has always been one of her favorite actors. She's always said, I love Matt Damon except for his nose. And I'm like, okay. She doesn't like his nose for some reason, but she really likes him. I think she likes him because of the Bourne movies.
Is it too wide? Too soft?
Something about the nose she doesn't like. Although now if I mention Matt Damon, she'll be like, oh, but he's getting so old.
Well, yeah, Mom, so are you.
But no, literally, when I took her, when they visited,
too big? I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Yeah, when they visited LA and she wanted to go to like the Walk of Fame, and I took her
to see his star.
To the Grauman, like the Chinese theater, and we found like his hand and footprints, and she took a picture of it and like put her hands in there and everything. So he was the only actor she did that for, so she really likes him. Yeah, I have pictures of it. It's really cute.
He's so ugly.
Not to her, apparently.
Oh, no, I know, but I'm looking because I wanted to look at his nose, but now I'm looking at pictures of him, and I just do not find him attractive, like, at all.
I don't know. She loves him. She really... And, good
for your mom.
By proxy, Emma also likes him because he's the voice of Spirit the Stallion in Spirit of the Cimarron, and she loves that movie, so...
I don't like that movie.
She loves that movie, and she loves the music.
Like, it's okay. I watched it once, and I was like, all right, I got it. But I also don't like horses. So
yeah. I bet your dad. Your really sister's
a horse girl.
She is. She has a spirit tattoo.
I know she does. You told me, and it's not good, right?
It's just like the horse silhouette, and we're like, there's so much. It was like her first tattoo, but it's so big. It's like the size of a deck of cards. It's so funny.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
But yeah, so I think I was too young when the movies were coming out, and then they did not stay in the popular zeitgeist very long. I feel like I think maybe in the 2010s briefly, but like they just, I'm like, I don't care. This is just like any other action movie. There's 3. It's the Bourne Identity. No. There's
1, 2, 3.
There's 3. The Bourne Identity.
Well, there's
the Bourne Supremacy.
With Matt Damon, because then there's Bourne Legacy with
Jeremy Renner.
And then it looks like there's a 2016 one, and this one brought back Jason Bourne. Not Jason Bourne, Matt Damon.
Oh. Well, it's like I guess we'll get into the idea like what the plot is later, because I was about to ask plot questions, but yeah, I just haven't seen it because I never got around to it, and I was too young, and they don't interest me. Those sorts of like action movies are really boring to me. Like the action movie series I subscribe to is like Mission Impossible because it's straightforward. There's a mission. It's impossible.
And it's impossible. But we're gonna make it possible.
Yeah, it's a mission. It's impossible. I'm gonna watch some cool tech. There's gonna be a mask that doesn't work. I don't know why they keep trying to make the mask work. It never...
Stop trying to make the mask happen.
It almost never works, but they always have it. And there's cool techs and gadgets, and I want to see what crazy stunt Tom Cruise is trying to do next. You know, like, there's like a thing. The stories... whatever, but at least there's a pull for me. It's like it makes sense, and it's like spy, whatever, like it feels cool. And then James Bond, I guess, is another one, but that's because of James Bond, and also I like Daniel Craig. But for like but for like a regular action, like unless it's a heist, I'm not really interested. You know, like I like heist movies, but if it's just like a regular action movie, I'm like, oh no, the terrorists have taken over the airport. Oh no, the hostage has taken over the bank.
Oh no, not the terrorists.
Well, you know, it's just, it doesn't appeal to me as much in terms of like the story. Like it's either a heist, like the Ocean series. Like I haven't watched all of them, but the one I did watch.
I watched all of the Ocean movies over the summer.
I kind of want to because I like the heist.
And yeah. I watched because I've seen the original, I remember liking it, and then I was like, you know what, I really like Ocean's 8.
Yeah, I love Ocean's 8. Yeah.
And I was like, let me just watch, and then I watched over a period of like 3 days. I watched Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, and Ocean's 13, and I thought they were so good. And I was at Goodwill, and they had Ocean's 12 on DVD, so I bought Ocean's 12 for like $3.
Well, it just... that makes sense, and that's why I like The Bad Guys. And then, like, The French Connection is also, I think, like, a heist movie. So it's, like, it's the same, you know, if it's just generic action, like, I'm like, what's the point? What are we doing? Like, at least...
What are we
doing here? Like, at least, like, sci-fi action, it's like, oh, no, the aliens or the robots, right? It makes... But if it's the other stuff, I'm like, this is an everyday life. Like, what am I watching here, you know? It's just boring to me, and I'm not gonna watch like gang movies or whatever, like mafia movies. That's just whatever. But yeah, it just doesn't. It's not my type of movie. So
yeah.
All right.
Okay.
What do we think happens in this movie, Monze? What do you think this movie's about?
I think I know the main plot, like the through line.
Okay.
Which is that Jason Bourne.
Yes.
I don't know if he's going by the name Jason Bourne at the start of the movie, but he has forgotten his past. Yes. He doesn't know that he is Jason Bourne, the super spy guy.
Yeah.
And I think maybe he's being targeted or something. He's like, why are people targeting me about whatever? And they're like, Jason Bourne, you're actually Jason Bourne and you're a super spy, and he has to like figure it out. I'm assuming maybe like in that way where it's like, oh, you know something you weren't supposed to know, And so it was better that you didn't know, but now that you're finding out these secrets, like, now we need to destroy you or something stupid. I don't know. That's my basic idea.
Yeah, I agree. I think he doesn't know who he is. I think it's like a sleeper agent. I think someone comes up to him and says a phrase, and
they're like bacon, and he's like, I am activated.
Yeah. Like, I think it's like that. I think a scene like that happens. But yeah, he finds out he's actually living maybe his wife is like his
You know what I'm just remembering? Didn't we see the Jason? I just remembered. I don't even remember that we saw that.
That we saw a clip of it in our film class one time.
No.
Wait,
when we went to Universal Studios, didn't we see the Jason Bourne?
Wait, yes. Oh, yeah, right. We saw earlier too. Like when
I forgot till right now.
Earlier, because I was thinking both. I've seen a scene from one of the Bourne movies, which I was going to get to, in film class, because they were talking about acting in the editing or whatever, because someone...
I don't remember that at all, no.
Someone jumped off a building to their death, and then it was just a close-up. Like, we don't see the body, but we just see, like, Matt Damon's acting, and it's, like, the framing and the editing choices or whatever, blah, 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 right? So I remember that, but I don't remember which Bourne movie that's from. But then I was also thinking about, like, we saw, like, an action-y sort of thing at Universal. Was that the Bourne series?
Yeah, that was, like, the Bourne whatever, but I don't know if it's based on... I don't know if it gave any plot of the original movie, but I don't even remember anything about it. I do remember, like, it was in a desert, maybe?
They pulled in, like, a tank.
Yeah, there was, like, cool... I remember the things moving in and out, but I don't remember the story.
They had, like, the 360
like the
stage,
jumping...
and they pretended they were on a helicopter, and then the stage thing kind of, like, the screens looked like it was moving to look like they were on a helicopter.
Yeah.
And there was
But I don't know the story. I remember the cool effects, the stage effects, but I don't know anything else.
Yeah. Well, I think his wife is not
my wife.
Actually his wife. Every time I say his wife, you said this in the Die Hard episode too that I just edited last night.
Wait, who is?
You said my wife.
Oh, I said my wife. That one too.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I think his wife is like his handler. That's the word I was looking for.
Okay.
Or maybe, okay, what if?
Or maybe he thinks she's his wife. But she's not, you know, like they're not actually married.
I don't think they're married at all. Like she's pretending to be his wife, but she's actually.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So I'm wondering, what if the reason he has amnesia is because he was captured by the enemy spies and they knocked him out and they have him trapped and they have him like living in this kind of fake world so that
like
they can,
the Truman Show type of thing.
Yeah, like it's not like literally a fake world. It's just they have like people around him to like
they populated his life with people who are on their side and not his side.
Yes, exactly, to keep him away. But then his actual side is trying to like retrieve him, and then his handler wife is actually like an enemy spy and she's there to keep him in check. So when he comes home, he's like, honey, I had the craziest day, this person did this and followed me and whatever, and she's like cutting
oh
onions.
really?
Yeah, exactly. She's like, oh, interesting, and then like the shot lingers on her like cutting onions and her indecipherable facial expression, and then he comes to see her and she's like, hi honey, and she puts like the knife behind her back and like stabs him, and then he's like, whoa, and then it goes crazy and she starts speaking with a Russian accent. I
can't believe you believed this ruse the entire time, Jason Bourne.
Or she goes to like hurriedly make a phone call, like super not discreetly whatsoever, and it's like, isn't this your job? But I think that's going to be a plot point. I think that's the story. So he's getting. It's about him getting to the good side. He's discovered his identity, so now he has to go.
And he is reborn.
He has to go back to his good side because the enemy has him right now, and then he can give the good side vital information, so they're trying to retract him. I think that's what it is. Yeah. Or it's some weird mission where they're like, we're going to intentionally give you amnesia so you can ingratiate yourself into the bad side, but now we have to retrieve you, something like that. But I think he's with the enemy and the story is about him getting to the good side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I feel pretty good about it.
I'm glad. It's based off a book.
Oh, that makes sense. Bourne Identity trailer. I can't wait to see the color grading on this. Ooh. Not the slow-mo.
Oh my god, this is so 2000s. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is so 2000s. He's trained.
I'll give you $10,000 to drive me to Paris.
I get the money, and I don't get hurt.
That's the deal. Now, the government's topic.
Okay.
I can't remember anything that happened before 2 weeks ago.
Vision?
Yes. Is about to become their #1 target.
What's in Paris?
It's a name, Jason Bourne. Let's see if the Paris police can find him for us. And the only way he can survive.
Oh, it's that girl.
What girl?
Oh my god, this car.
Monsieur Bourne.
Monsieur Bourne.
Monsieur Bourne.
Get the address. I think I got it.
Look at these computers. They're running like Microsoft XP over here.
Do it now.
What is it? Something wrong?
A sniper. Oh. Oh, what?
Oh! That's so stupid.
It's not safe.
This is not interesting to me at all.
No, this is what I'm saying. It's just like, what am I
I'm like
watching?
so uninterested.
You gotta get as far away from me as you can.
This is so dated.
Why would I watch this when I could watch Mission Impossible? Which at this point would be Mission Impossible 2.
I like how there's all this action and then it's just them like making out.
Yeah.
You like that? You like that? What about this? What about this?
The comments. One of the best action spy thriller movies of all time. Happy 20th anniversary.
Anniversary. Yeah, I saw the first two.
Well, do we want to amend anything?
Well, it seems like it's very short while
Yeah.
that he's had amnesia.
Yeah.
I guess for me, I can't really tell what the trigger is that makes him go, I need to figure out who I am.
Yeah.
In like a way where suddenly you are with guns and hiding and fighting and whatever.
Yeah.
I guess that's where I'm sort of struggling and trying to figure out what that is in my made-up scenario for story in the amendment of it.
Yeah, I think my story is completely out, even though I think that could be a story for something.
Yeah, I think, although I don't trust that French lady.
No.
If she's French or whatever. I don't trust her.
Okay, we don't
Femme
trust
fatale.
her.
With her bad early 2000s haircut.
Weird haircut.
It was really bad.
That's
it was so bad.
That's a terrible haircut or terrible wig. I don't know what I'm looking at.
I don't know what is on that woman's head, but it needs to go away.
It's not good. Yeah, we're so sorry hair and makeup did that to you. So I guess he's just a rogue agent, but it's like, oh no, he doesn't remember anything, so he's just dangerous and running around and they're trying to find him, but I don't know what the point is. He probably got backstabbed or something or whatever. He has to know some sort of secret. So
yeah, I feel like that has to be it.
But I don't know like what the rest of the story is, so I guess we'll find out. All right. In the Mediterranean Sea, Italian fishermen rescue an American man adrift with 2 gunshots in his back. Gunshot wounds in his
Literally shot in the back.
And you're to blame. Someone gave love a bad name for him. Okay. Tending to his wounds, they find he has amnesia, but shows advanced combat skills and fluency in several languages.
How do they know he has... Oh, is it like he wakes up and he's like...
Maybe that's what it is. I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah, it's so stupid. Okay.
A tiny laser projector found implanted in his hip gives the number of a safe deposit box in Zurich, so he goes to investigate.
What? What does that mean?
Is he a cyborg? What's happening? I don't know.
Like, oh, what's this lump in your hip? Press.
All right, in the deposit box... Oh, I do know, I'm pretty sure Jason Bourne is like an alias, like James Bond, but anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's why Jeremy Renner becomes like the new Jason Bourne, I think, but I don't know. I might be wrong. In the deposit box, he finds various currencies, passports, IDs with different names, and a handgun. The man takes everything but the gun and starts using the name on the American passport, Jason Bourne. After Bourne's departure, a bank employee contacts Operation Treadstone, a CIA Black Ops program.
Why did you do like a face?
The name is stupid. I'm like, what the fuck is a Treadstone?
I don't know.
That's like a last name rather than like a...
Yeah.
Because the
well,
name...
Maybe that's his original last name. I don't know.
Maybe. Its head, Alexander Conklin, these names are awful, issues alerts to police to capture Bourne and assigns 3 agents, codenamed Castell, Mannheim, and the Professor, to kill him.
Oh my god. Uh-huh.
CIA Deputy Director Ward Abbott. These are awful. I'm sorry. These are all terrible names. I'm not feeling these names.
Say that to best-selling author of this book series, Corinne.
I will. So the director, Ward Abbott, contacts Conklin about a failed assassination attempt against exiled African dictator Wombosi, who promises to deal with the agent who failed.
Okay, so it's probably him.
It's probably him. Bourne, I like it's just exiled African dictator. Which country? But okay. Bourne evades...
Africa! The country of Africa, Corinne.
Bourne evades the Swiss police by using his U.S. passport to enter the American consulate, but is pursued by Marine guards.
I guess the Marine guards are protecting the...
In Switzerland? I have so many questions.
In Switzerland?
Switzerland. Where's their base? They're just here? Okay. Bourne escapes after offering $20,000 to Marie Kreutz, a 26-year-old German. That accent did not sound German. He saw at the consulate.
She's German.
Yeah. To drive him to an address in Paris.
I bet she's one of the people.
Maybe.
Okay.
From the apartment, Bourne uses the phone to contact a hotel to inquire about the names on his passports. A, quote, John Michael Caine was registered but died 2 weeks before in a car crash. Castell ambushes Bourne and Marie in the apartment, but Bourne gets the upper hand. Instead of allowing himself to be interrogated, Castell throws himself from a window to his death.
Oh, that's the scene you saw.
I don't think that's
presumably
the scene
I also saw, but
because Matt Damon was like very emotional about it, and I don't think he'd be emotional about this person.
Okay.
Unless the scene I'm thinking of is from The Departed, but I'm pretty sure it's from one of the Bourne movies. It was Matt Damon on the roof being sad.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Sorry, continue. Okay.
Dat Damon. Okay. While searching through Castell's belongings, Marie finds wanted posters of Bourne and herself, and so agrees to help him. After they evade the police in Marie's car, they spend the night in a Paris hotel. Meanwhile, Wombosi obsesses over the attempt on his life. Conklin, having anticipated this, has planted a body... What is that? A monocle? We're both doing really good right now.
Sorry.
Conklin has planted a body identified a body as John. He's planted a body identified as John Michael Caine in a Paris morgue to appear to be the assailant. Wombosi is unconvinced.
Oh, okay. So the guy who supposedly killed Jason Bourne is the guy who is in the morgue.
I don't think so.
Isn't that what you just said?
So the dictator is like, someone tried to kill me, and the CIA head is like, planted a body identified as John Michael Caine in the morgue to appear to be the guy that tried to kill Wombosi.
Oh, I thought because Jason Bourne called and was like, hey, what are these names? And they were like, oh, this guy named with that name that you'd mentioned. So I just assumed that was him, because they said he went missing 2 weeks ago, and he doesn't remember anything from before 2 weeks ago.
So the body is someone else. Yeah, John Michael.
So I'm assuming maybe the guy who tried to kill Jason Bourne, maybe is the guy that he killed. Is that guy? I don't know. It was just, I'm just brainstorming, I guess.
I think Wombosi was supposed to be killed by Jason Bourne, but John Michael Caine is Jason Bourne's his alias, and he was in a car accident. Alias, sorry. So he's just putting a regular body saying, oh yeah, this is the guy that killed you, even though the guy's like, no, it was Matt Damon that killed me. That's what I think.
No, it was Matt Damon. Okay.
But I'm not sure. It's a little confusing. Okay. Wombosi is unconvinced and threatens to report the CIA's actions to the media. The professor then assassinates Wombosi on Conklin's orders. Okay.
What?
Why didn't you do that sooner?
What? Yeah, why are you going through this whole thing if you're just going to kill him anyway?
This is what happens when plot drives the characters. Okay, Bourne, posing as Caine, learns about... Okay, we're getting some answers. Learns about the failed assassination attempt on Wombosi's yacht, and that the assassin was shot twice in the back during the escape, ultimately realizing that he was responsible for the attempt. So yeah, he's like, oh, I was sent to assassinate this guy.
'Twas me. I am the murderer.
Yes.
Okay.
He and Marie take refuge in the French countryside home of Marie's half-brother, Eamon, whatever, and his children.
Amon?
It's E-A-M-O-N. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Amon? Yeah.
Amon. Under
Fuck
pressure...
you, French. Sorry for any French listeners. Including Koreans. Half of your own family.
It's all good.
I take it back. I'm so sorry. I'm not in a good place mentally right now.
Under pressure from Abbott to handle the matter, Conklin tracks Bourne's location and sends the professor to kill him. Bourne mortally wounds the professor, who reveals their shared connection to Treadstone before dying. Bourne sends Marie, Amon, and the children away for their protection. He then contacts Conklin via the professor's phone, and they agree to meet alone in Paris. When Bourne sees that Conklin is not alone, he abandons their meeting but places a tracking device on his car, leading Bourne to the Treadstone safe house in Paris. He breaks in and holds Conklin and logistics technician Nikki Parsons at gunpoint. What did Nikki do?
Oh, that's that girl.
Is that
what
the
do you
girl?
mean? She's the brains behind the beep boop 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 bop bop beep. The computer.
I guess so, yeah. Conklin reveals his association with Treadstone and presses him to remember his past. Bourne recalls his attempt to assassinate Wombosi through successive flashbacks. Under orders from Treadstone, Bourne had infiltrated Wombosi's yacht and got close enough to assassinate him. However, Bourne could not kill Wombosi while his children were present, so instead fled, being shot during his escape and losing his memory. Wouldn't you, come up with this beforehand of, it's his yacht, but his children might be on it, so maybe we should kill him in a place where there's no chance of his children in here. I don't know.
Yeah, you think you would do some freaking... What's it called?
Yeah. Reconnaissance.
I don't know. Reconnaissance.
Yeah.
Especially if that's a no-no for you.
Yeah. Bourne announces... Anyways, Bourne announces he is resigning from Treadstone and warns Conklin not to follow him. As agents descend on the safe house, he fights his way out. As Conklin leaves, he is killed by Mannheim under Abbott's orders. Abbott then shuts down Treadstone. He reports to an oversight committee that Treadstone is a decommissioned former program of theoretical game scenario exercises before discussion turns to a new project codenamed Blackbriar. Sometime later, Bourne finds Marie renting out scooters to tourists on Mykonos, and they reunite.
So she wasn't anything?
No.
That's so disappointing.
I know. She's just some lady.
She's just some German lady?
She's just some lady. This movie is just boring to me.
It was really hard to pay attention.
It's hard to understand what's going on. maybe I'm just not the demographic for this. I don't understand.
I agree. I think we're neither of us are the demographic for this movie.
I don't understand.
I was too busy folding this twisty and making it into a perfect circle.
I don't get the appeal. I will say, I am a supporter of original film ideas. Something that I think we are suffering a lack of in this day and age of remakes and sequels and, you know...
Original IPs, necessity.
Yes. And this was at least an original IP based on a book. So, I'll give it that. And I do think we should have more of that. But this original IP based on a book is not for me. I don't think it was... It's just not for me. It's not my taste. It's not interesting to me. Maybe it's in the execution. Maybe it's in the filmmaking itself. But to me, it just feels very like a plot-driven movie where the character actions don't make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand the motivations of a lot of these people. I don't... Like,
I mean, it's also like, why should I care for this guy as well?
Yeah.
Because when we meet him, we don't know anything about him. He doesn't even know anything about himself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, where's the buy-in? I guess maybe the mystery, but...
Yeah. And maybe
I think even with a mystery, there needs to be some sort of, okay, this is why, you know, we should care. I think if it was longer than 2 weeks and we got to see maybe the life he had built,
mm-hmm.
I think maybe then it could be like, okay, this is like the life. We know who he is as this person.
Mm-hmm.
And then that way when he's discovering who he is, it's like, oh, like, the way we've seen you is this way, and now it's like, oh, maybe you're actually 180 degrees in the other direction. Right?
Yeah.
I think that is much more compelling, as opposed to like, oh, I woke up with some bullets in my back and I don't know anything and I somehow have a thing in me. I don't know.
I mean, I also feel like, oh no, I can't shoot this guy in front of his children. I'm like, okay, where did we establish that this could be a character trait for him? Is maybe that's a failing of, you know, reading the synopsis and not watching the movie, that maybe we see some of that, like when he's staying at Marie's half-brother's house with his kids and maybe there's some child bonding or whatever, and it's like, oh, okay.
But I think even you would have to establish that first act, right? That this is how he feels about children.
Yeah.
And something that you do each step of the way, right? Like each sort of sequence, like, okay, here he is interacting with the kid, we can see how he acts. Okay, here we see. So then when it comes to, it's like, oh, yeah, of course he didn't, because we have seen the way he has interacted or has felt about children in multiple different settings.
Yeah.
Right? It could even be like saying a bad word, like he was going to swear and he saw a kid and he was like, oh, you know, so you know, like, oh, there is a line he does not cross.
Yeah, it kind of feels like, oh yeah, this guy is a vicious, violent killer, but he has standards. He doesn't want, he has a line, and that makes him an even better person because he has higher moral, ethical standards than this bad CIA guy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also weird that it's like, there's like this subplot, right? The B plot is like Conklin versus Abbott, right? Where Abbott is like above Conklin, and Conklin's like, oh my god, my agent failed his mission and is out and about. I have to like retain him.
In the boot.
Yeah. And it's like, he's working so hard to get this guy alive, question mark. But then he's also trying to like distract the dictator and be like, no, we weren't trying to kill you, but then he kills him anyways. So it's like, why did you go through all this effort of like planting a body, you know?
Yeah.
If
you're the one behind trying to kill him, why didn't you just kill him?
Yeah.
When he was like, hey, I'm not dead, someone tried to kill me. Like, oh no. Bam, boom, boom, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah. So.
Unless they're trying to get something out of him specifically.
Yeah, so that I don't get. And it's like, if the professor is that good, why didn't you, like, send him out in the first place to go get him, like, immediately, you know? So that also, I'm like, I don't really understand that. And then Abbott just kills Conklin and is like, yeah, I'm shutting down the whole department. It's like, why didn't you shut this down before? Why did you need to kill this man, to shut it down? Like, you could have shut it down from the unless that was the threat from the beginning of, like, I'm going to shut this down, but that, he would, I don't know. I'm like, I'm not fully understanding.
It feels like they're trying to raise these stakes, but they haven't earned it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Which, again, maybe it's just the synopsis is, like, not the best synopsis, and we're just getting the bare bones, but it just doesn't seem very, doesn't make me want to watch it.
And when we were watching the trailer, it's just so very early 2000s. I watched The Matrix a while ago. Did I tell you about this?
Oh, I don't think you did.
Okay, well, I watched The Matrix for the first time, like, 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
2-3 weeks ago. Never seen it before. And I was like, this just hasn't aged well. Because the technology of, like, the early 2000s and late 90s is just so clunky.
Yeah.
That it's like, it doesn't, like, 80s technology, okay, but once you get to, like, that late 90s, early, it's really clunky and gross, and the graphics look terrible, that it's like, the switch from analog to digital was just so hard that, like, even looking at this, right, when they were doing, like, his hand thing, I was like, this isn't aged well. Like, even the technology of to be like, oh, this guy is a super secret. I'm like, okay, but, like, everything looks awful. So, like, her haircut, like, the technology, his outfits, like, how am I supposed to believe this guy is supposed to be, like, so good when I'm like, it just doesn't look good, I think. And it might just be they haven't restored that trailer, and so it looks awful, but it is a bit like, this doesn't, like, even visually look good or appealing, too, which I think, I don't know.
No,
and I think that is part of the whole, like, 2001 to, like, 2004 or 5 movies, especially when they're trying to be, like, this, I don't know, thriller or, like, high-tech things, where it's like, ooh, this is of a time.
Yeah.
And this is of a period. Yeah.
Yeah, because it is very like, oh, we have this cool thing. How do we integrate it? Especially when you see, like, a movie like Jurassic Park that came out in 1993 and integrated it so well, right? Like, we can tell, obviously, where the CG is and, like, the kind of wide open scenes and stuff, but it doesn't pull you out of the movie. It still works. And they also still, it was, like, a mix of CG and animatronic. So when the person is directly interacting with the dinosaur, it's an animatronic. But then if it's, like, far away sort of thing, then it's CG. So that makes a lot of sense. It's less jarring, right? But then you have other movies where, like, I think they go too far in with it, like Star Wars Phantom Menace, where it's...
Yeah, where they think that they are there technologically, and it's like, no, you're still not there.
Yeah. And it's like, maybe for the time, it was like, whoa, but...
Yeah, for the time, it's impressive, but I mean, it's just like those claymation, 1950s, like, fighting, Jason and the Argonauts, or whatever, and it's like, I'm sure for the time it looked good, but, like, this is of a time. Yeah. Like, there's no way around it, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's of a time.
Exactly. It's like, and there's movies where it's like, for the time, and even now it's impressive, like Wizard of Oz. Especially when you think about, like, the craftsmanship and what they had to do to pull off, like, that vivid color, or the transition from the black and white to the color to hide the fact that they already had the tech, right? Like, they painted everything a certain way. They had, like, a stunt double, or, like, all this sort of stuff they had to do to make that, like, House to Oz color reveal is impressive even today, I feel like even when you see that clip, it's still like, oh my god, wow. And, like, yes, there is dated, like, costuming and makeup and stuff, but it still, like, is effective within that. So
within the construct of
yeah, exactly. So, and then again, like, movies like Alien or arguably Terminator, right, where it's like, well, this still holds up. Like, there's Disney animated movies where it's like, okay, yeah, like, the CG for this holds up. Like, the opening pan zoom shot of Rescuers Down Under, like, that still holds up. The Atlantis 3D integration there holds up. And then you compare it to animation even made today, and we see examples of that 2.5D that don't work, right? So on some level, there is the clunky tech, but on other levels, it's like, well, even with the clunky tech, if you understand the limitations, you can work within it. Like, Shrek is an ugly movie, but it still works, right? They almost, like, leaned into the ugliness as part of the film, right? Because the animation could only do so much.
I mean, like, when you think about the first Toy Story, like...
Yeah.
You hardly see, really, the humans people. because it just didn't, like, render well. Yeah. Like, that's the reason mainly they're toys, because if they look shiny or plastic, it's because they are plastic.
Exactly.
Like, they're supposed to look that way.
Exactly. It's like understanding, like, okay, this is what we can.
And I feel like, during this time, you start losing, like, oh, we just have it, so let's just do it. And it's like, no. I don't know. Because I don't know. I've seen them, like, doing all this, like, big typing, and they're on the big, fat, Windows 95 computer that I had as a kid, and I was like, I could barely run a floppy disk. Like, I don't believe that you're telling me you're running like 20 programs on here. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Because at least in the Matrix they didn't have like those computers. Yeah. And that was what, 99?
Yeah. I mean, I like those like clunky analog computers, but I see what you're saying for sure. Yeah. So it's like the enhance. Like, that's where the joke is coming from, because it's like, that's not possible, So, all right, well.
Oh, your breath stank, George.
Stinky.
I can smell your breath all over.
How many stars do we give this movie?
1 star!
I'm giving it 2. 1 is how many I think it should get, but I'm giving 1 for my mom.
A free star from your mom?
Because I think she likes this movie a lot. Or she likes Matt Damon so much. I'll give her one more star for her.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, this is clear favoritism.
I know. Wow. I don't really want to watch it, but maybe...
Yeah, I'm giving it a 1 because it wasn't interesting. I was bored. I stopped paying attention. I went back in. I'm upset that the girl wasn't secretly a femme fatale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my story idea was more interesting.
I think so too.
Thank you. But, alas.
You don't eat for another hour, be quiet.
Alright, well, that's our episode.
Look at him.
George is hungry. If you're a big Matt Damon Bourne series fan, we hope you're not too annoyed. And if you're like, you don't get it, inform us.
You just don't get it, man.
Let us know in the comments what we're missing, because this is what we're seeing on the synopsis, and it just doesn't, change our mind or try to on why we should try to give this movie a chance, because we're not seeing it right now. So
don't change my mind.
Don't change Monzi's mind.
Don't change my mind.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
Yep, you can't.
Don't even try it.
Anyways, where can they find us, Monzi?
Great question. They can find us at We Don't Watch Movies Pod on Instagram.
Woo.
You can find me on Instagram at Magic Monster. And hey, Corinne, where can they find you?
You can find me at Corinne is Korean on Instagram.
Wow.
All right, that's the episode. Bye.
Bye.